we start the session about saying where to go after you go to Google. It's like, what do you have after you have your coffee, right? So I'm signing on to my university sign-on now because I want to move away from Google a bit. I want to get you off that training wheels. Google's great torchlight, but you can't use a torchlight to think. You have to do that. So the next thing I want to bring you to was Austlii, which is here. And I did show you what Bailey was. So Bailey is a cousin of Austlii. Bailey is the UK cousin. They only curate UK, Welsh, Scottish cases, Irish as well. They were British now.
But they're getting better and better at having the really old cases in there too, aren't they?
They are very good with legacy. Absolutely amazing. So is Austlii. So think about this way, right? Austlii and Bailey, they started in 1998. They are like the antique tea chest, which has stored all the acts, all the cases which has come through since day dot. You want Sugar Act 1863 of South Australia, you've got it. You want Dog and Cat Management Act 1895 from Queensland, you've got it. All you need to do is do your search here. Now, caveat, Austlii is not managed by people doing editorial work all the time, right? So they don't curate as we know what curate is. What I mean by curate is this: they get data, they QC it, they put it out. What Austlii does is they suck information from all the registries of the courts and then they publish as is. Okay? So don't treat this as this must be it. I know I don't need anything else. Not true. It's a good source to start. Austlii operates on open access. It's for the good of the country and the Commonwealth and also for the community at large. So if I want to do, say, carbolic here again, carrot. There you go, and it tells you carbolic sulfur, right? To return, and then it provides you what there is. Now, remember what I said that it's not curated properly, so it's got all the crazy stuff coming through. There's a Gazette from 1923, for God's sakes, right? So just be really careful on what you're looking for here. You can do the same thing in Bailey. Look up carbolic, which we did just now, and it actually did surface really fast. The other caveat I want to give you is that Austlii and Bailey search engines are not very complex. It's not like Google, so don't expect it to find anything immediately. So to see in Austlii, it's like, what am I looking at? Like, what the hell is this, right?
So Custom Acts Amendment Bill has 100% relevance.
No, I don't know. So as I said, no one is actually behind
it. And it's a New Zealand Act about, and it hasn't actually brought up the case.
No, it hasn't. Yeah. So that's the key problem here. Now, the other thing, but I just want to show you the sources, right? So we'll go a little bit more about where the sources are. Now, this is free. Bailey's free. Videos, of course, free, but support it, donate. Now, the other source I want to show you is called J.io. So this is another open access source, which is very good for students, right? What is it? This is Australia's first legal case citator in our country. There's no other service available like this. And it is free for you guys as students. If you email them, talk to an editor, you email them and you say, hi, I'm a first year student, they actually give you access.
I should disclose I am a Jade ambassador. I'm not quite sure what Jade ambassador means. I think it's actually fancy legal talk for fangirl. I use it a lot in all sorts of tricky ways, including checking students' citations for accuracy, and which is a bit mean, but it works and does it without me having to think. But I will include with this video some information about how to ask Jade for the professional use, which I think is really generous of them and worth using.
I think so. It's a really good service. I haven't found anything in Australia which is similar to it. It was founded and created by a barrister who practices in South Wales Supreme Court and also other states. But his purpose for this was to enable the community to use and access legal research materials democratically. That's available, and if you want to pay, pay. If you can't pay, then you fall into categories that don't have to pay. Court staff don't have to pay, students don't have to pay, and then non-profit organizations don't have to pay as well. Now, this is a free search. Nothing stops you from going here and going, I want carbolic. Now, it's not the sexiest search engine on earth, but look at that. Immediately it has, you know, show citation and so forth. And we'll have a session on how to use this properly. But I'm just going to go to the first one. And instead of displaying the case, it displays how carbolic has been referred to by a case in 2020. That is still relevant, right? There are principles in there which is still relevant. What is the principle? Remember, we talked about that P word. It's actually highlighted here. An offeror cannot erect a contract between himself and offeree, blah, 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 blah. That's the principle here. So a principle in 1892 being used over 200 years later by Justice Bromwich.
Actually, every contract law nerd must have just been nerding out about this case, because it's not only got carbolic smoke bore, but Feldhaus and Bindley and a fourth case in there as well.
Crazy.
Just gorgeous. Crazy stuff.
And even Boots is here as well. Look.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Boots Cash Chemist. Honestly, bringing out the big guns.
I know.
And again, so basically, so I like this. This is one of the things that I like too, because it's also not, you know, if I know that carbolic has been somehow addressed, or the principles in carbolic have been addressed in a case, again, it's like the Where's Wally exercise. You know, am I interested in this whole case? Actually, what I want to know is, was it cited with approval or some kind of dissent? Is it modified in some way? Is it being used in a particular way? And so just being able to see the paragraph with the highlighting really helps me. But I'm taking us to a place where we're not going to go in this video, so we'll come back to that.
We'll just highlight it a little bit. We'll have a special edition on how to do legal research on Austlii, on Jade.